to watch its body. You have to imagine the sea the way the shark experiences it. A school of fish that had been flashing like scattered coins suddenly tightens into one trembling mass. A seal that had been floating at ease jolts upright and changes direction. Even the water seems to grow more alert. It is not one fixed idea, but a whole family of solutions. From the massive plankton-feeding whale shark to the swift mako, from the seafloor hunter lying almost invisible against sand, the great migratory predators crossing oceans we can barely comprehend. When compared with other marine animals, Yao, the shark's uniqueness becomes even sharper. Dolphins may appear more expressive, seals more familiar, bony fish more abundant, rays more alien in their flattened grace. Yet sharks occupy a different place altogether. They belong to an older architecture of life, one that remains astonishingly effective. They do not need to resemble mammals to be remarkable. They do not need myth to make them powerful. Their reality is already extraordinary enough. Habitat loss, pollution, warming seas, and the human habit of fearing what we do not fully must be agile enough to thread through this living architecture, while staying alert to every movement around them. Their bodies tend to be more maneuverable than those of some open ocean species, because speed alone is not enough in close quarters. A shark that cannot turn sharply or react quickly will lose prey among the coral or injure itself on the reef. Here, control matters as much as force. In coastal shallows, another difficulty appears: unpredictability. Tides rise and fall. Water temperature shifts. Visibility can change in an instant, and sediment is stirred by storms or surf. These areas, and yet for all its power, the shark is not invincible. That may be the most sobering truth of all. An animal that endured natural upheavals across geological ages, still breathing, still hunting in the modern ocean. But in ecological terms, many sharks solve problems constantly. They navigate large areas, interpret changing prey behavior, and adjust movement patterns to currents, temperature zones, and risk. That is a form of practical problem management shaped by the ocean itself. When it comes to learning from experience, evidence suggests sharks are more capable than their reputation implies. Some can learn to associate certain cues with food, modify their responses over time, and become more efficient through repeated exposure to situations. A young shark that survives failed hunts may improve by refining timing and approach. When in captivity and experimental settings, certain species have shown the ability to learn tasks and remember them. This does not make them masterminds of the sea. It makes them animals whose behavior can be shaped by experience, which is exactly what survival in a complex environment would favor. Memory, too, appears stronger than many assume. A shark that returns seasonally to certain feeding areas, migratory routes, or nursery grounds is not drifting randomly through instinct alone. Memory likely supports these repeated patterns, especially in species that navigate wide marine regions. The ocean may seem featureless from above, but to animals living within it, place matters. Productive waters, safe pupping areas, and migratory corridors are too important to ignore, and remembering them can mean higher reproductive strategy. In a vast ocean where timing and contact are uncertain, internal fertilization gives greater control over the beginning of development. But what happens next varies dramatically from species to species. Some sharks lay eggs enclosed in tough protective cases, often anchored to seaweed, coral, or the seafloor. These cases are sometimes called mermaid's purses, a gentle name for what is actually a hard beginning. Inside, the developing embryo must survive on stored yolk, sealed away from the outside world until it is ready to emerge. Other sharks take a different path and give birth to live young. In some species, The embryos still rely mainly on yolk while developing inside the mother, gaining the advantage of protection during their most vulnerable stage. In others, the connection between mother and developing young becomes more intimate, with forms of nourishment that bring the process closer in principle to what mammals do, even though the biology is very different. This diversity is one of the great surprises of shark life. The public often imagines sharks in a single dramatic image, but their reproductive systems reveal a wide range of evolutionary strategies, each shaped by habitat, risk, and energy cost. And energy cost is everything here. Producing young that are relatively well developed at birth or hatching can improve survival, but it comes at a price. Sharks generally produce fewer offspring than many other fish. A bony fish may release thousands or even millions of eggs, flooding chance with numbers. Many sharks cannot afford that strategy. Instead, they invest more in each individual offspring. That means each loss matters more. It also means shark populations often recover slowly when adults are removed from the ecosystem. Their life history is not built for rapid replacement. The beginning can be harsh even before birth. In some species, developing embryos compete inside the womb in brutal ways. The strongest may consume unfertilized eggs produced by the mother. In the most extreme cases, larger embryos may even consume smaller siblings. This sounds shocking, but in ecological terms, it is a grim solution to a difficult problem. If only a few young will survive in a dangerous world, then producing fewer but stronger individuals may improve long-term success. Shark life does not hide from severity. It is shaped by it from the very start. When a young shark finally enters the world, it is not helpless in the way many baby animals